Good afternoon, everyone. I thought I'd give you a little bit of insight. Yesterday, everyone got presentation practice for presenting scholars, and Jodie and I organised that. But as the scholarship manager, I actually missed my slot. So I'm going to pretend you are all my presentation practice today. I would like to thank my sponsor, GrainCorp, for this opportunity, and Nuffield Australia. But as with what Andrew mentioned, my topic gets a lot of glazed looks, and it's not the most glitzy topic. So I started out my journey with my Nuffield topic with a focus on understanding agronomic decisions and how they impact Australian grain post-farm gate. However, as I travelled, I broadened my understanding of maximum residue limits, and I uncovered a complex web of regulation, policy, and politics. I'd like to take you on a journey with Murray, a mung bean with big dreams of travelling from the fields of Australia to dinner plates around the world. But Murray's path is filled with challenges, especially when it comes to navigating the complex world of MRLs. So let's follow Murray from seed to supper and see how he handles it. Now, I haven't even used this either. Which button? Oh, now I went. There you go. That's Murray. Murray begins his life in the rich soil of an Australian farm, nurtured by a farmer who's determined to help him thrive. However, Murray's journey is far from easy. He faces fierce competition from weeds and threats from pests. To give Murray the best chance of success, his farmer applies pre-emergent herbicides and carefully manages pests with insecticides. These early interventions are critical, but they also set the stage for potential challenges when it comes to meeting MRLs later on. As Murray grows, he enters a vegetative stage, where he becomes vulnerable to insects, diseases, and competing weeds. The farmer uses fungicides, insecticides, and selective herbicides to protect Murray during this crucial phase. It's vital that these treatments are applied correctly to manage residues effectively, ensuring that Murray remains within safe MRL limits. This attention to detail is essential for maintaining the quality and safety of the mung bean destined for export. Murray reaches his flowering and pod development stage, a period of great promise, but also great risk. Fungal diseases like powdery mildew and pests like pesky Heliothis grubs threaten to undo all the hard work. But the farmer steps in with well-timed fungicides and insecticides applications. By ensuring that Murray is treated correctly, the farmer not only protects the crop, but also ensures that Murray meets MRL standards of international markets. As harvest approaches, Murray is almost ready to fulfil his destiny. However, before he can be harvested, there's a final push to ensure he's in top condition. The farmer uses chemical desiccants and other methods that align with MRL requirements, helping to ensure that Murray is in prime condition for the market. But with 100% of Australian mung beans intended for human consumption, Murray is now poised to end up on dinner plates around the world. This careful management is key to maintaining Australia's reputation for producing clean, safe, and high-quality food. Despite all the care that the farmer has taken, Murray's journey... Oh, did I do that? No. Murray's journey isn't over yet. Australia's MRLs might align with domestic standards, of which Australian grain has 99.52% compliance rate. But what happens when Murray is exported? With 95% of Australian mung beans being shipped overseas, primarily to Asia, the stakes are high. Misaligned MRLs between countries can lead to complications. Murray can be rejected at the border if his residue levels don't meet the importing country's standards. This is when careful planning and adherence to global standards become crucial, helping to navigate these tricky waters. Murray's journey highlights the broader challenges faced by the Australian grain industry. The farmer and agronomist's role in ensuring that crops are managed correctly is crucial. Proper adherence to MRLs correct pesticide application and alignment with international standards are all essential for maintaining Australia's reputation as a reliable supplier of high-quality grain. By navigating these challenges effectively, we can ensure that Murray and mung beans like him reach their full potential in international markets. In the end, Murray the mung bean story is about more than one bean's journey. It's about the entire industry's commitment to quality, safety, and global trade. As we continue to grow and export Australian grain, we must ensure that our practices align with international standards, allowing Murray and others like him to reach the potential worldwide. Thank you for joining me on this journey with Murray today.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm sure we all enjoyed following Murray's journey around the world. And I guess my question to you straight away is, what do Australian growers need to prioritise in order to maintain and expand their prominence in the global grain market, export market?
I think it's firstly really important to understand that Australian grain growers are actually doing quite a good job. I went overseas thinking, knowing we did a good job, but then I came back from the CSC and everyone's talking about 8, 9, 10% organic matter, and we've got less than 2, 1 where I live in St George. And then I was like, why are we farming here? And then I went away on my GFP and I understood that it's pretty amazing for us to be able to farm in the conditions that we farm. So it's really important for us, like innovation is going to be where we can still maintain access to international markets, but it's also important for us to be able to maintain access to key chemicals, which we can do through optical sprayers, which are already on the market. We're having green on green coming in, so it's going to be, I suppose, more targeted to a pest, and we could manage our chemical residues that way. Also really interesting in mung beans, it's quite common for chemical desiccant with glyphosate, but they're already in Australia because it is exported overseas primarily, to swath it and pick it up that way. And it's actually can open up opportunities for premiums for growers.
And with whom does the responsibility lie to keep growers up to date with changing standards of requirements?
It's an interesting question. I probably have 3 people. Like industry, really, the open communication through industry, like back down the supply chain, that's been a big thing that I've been looking at, and other places around the world, and even other industries like the wine industry with their dog book has actually done that quite effectively. So that's one way. I think advisors and agronomists have to keep abreast of these changing issues, and on label, a lot of the labels actually say like talk to your bulk handler when you're like whether you use this product or not. So I think a lot of it does come down to the bulk handlers because they're the ones that are, I suppose, exporting it overseas, and getting that information back down to us and to the grower.
And you've talked about some of the innovations we can look at to reduce MRLs. What is the support that's available to growers to do this? Or at some of the tools available?
There is support available to reduce MRLs, but it's still a growing area. I've been to a fair few agronomy workshops, and I always point out mung beans because they are human consumption. So we're grain growers that grow a large commodity and it's at scale, but then you're going in now kind of growing a horticulture crop with mung beans. So they have actually been really good at like doing a certified agronomy scheme. So that's one way to get that out there. But I've also been seeing for farmers some seed companies that are looking at like dry down rates with different varieties, and so that you don't have to use or have to go towards a chemical desiccant. So that can really help with MRLs.
And did you encounter on your travels, Tessa, huge variation between standards domestically and the ones growers are having to adhere to here globally?
This is a tricky one because I suppose where in Australia the APVMA is completely scientific based, and they also do take into consideration trade. But then you have other places, potentially like the EU, where they've got their Green Deal, where they're trying to, part of it is they're wanting to reduce pesticide usage by 50% by 2030, and then also part of that is they're wanting to influence farming practices and chemical use globally. So in Australia, we've just got to find a way to be able to still, like, it's key to be able to export, and our environment is just so different to the EU. So how can we do that? So I think it's tricky because we're doing a really good job. So I think innovation and collaboration, I suppose, is another one, and that communication back down the supply chain, but we're all doing a good job.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tessa. Thank you so much.